we're live here, huh?
Indeed.
Okay, that's awesome. Oh, beer. Cheers. Cheers. So you're drinking a Raider IPA.
Raider. Yep. That's a recipe that I've been working on for, I don't know, probably 12 years, 13 years, and just going back and forth and um, messing around with it. It's probably on its 14th or 15th different version. And just been brewing this beer for a long time, but it's gone through a lot of different generations to get to where it is right now. So sometimes those recipes just come out of your head, and it's like, you know, you just epiphanies, and you go, it's a recipe, and you put it all together. And then sometimes you design a recipe, and you go, I'm going to tweak it here, and I'm going to tweak it there, and then, after 15 years, you're finally done with it.
Are you done with it?
No. But if you peel it back, like the Mona Lisa's got all kinds of paintings underneath it. Like,
I hate to say that I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other paintings underneath the Mona Lisa that you just painted over.
I should know.
What? Yeah. But I'm not saying that my beer is Mona Lisa.
Some people might think that. I might think that. So that could be the Raider IPA I had last year. Could be different than what that one is.
More than likely. Yeah. I mean, to an extent, we don't make the recipes so vastly different that there's a genetic drift on it. Like, it's not like all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, this is totally different than last year. We're making such minute details in the way that we dry hop, or even the particular hop varietal. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand, especially in beer production, is that hop varietals year to year alter and they change. And so it's just like getting a vintage wine. Each hop harvest is different. So this year's hop harvest in September is going to be different than next year's hop harvest. And the flavors from that hop are going to be different based off of environmental changes, how much rain they received that summer, how much sun they received that summer. So there's a lot of different environmental differences in hop varietals, and then also how the farmer cultivated his particular crop makes a difference.
Okay.
So there could be one wine region that produces a particular grape, another wine region that produces the exact same grape, but they taste very, very different because of the soil, because of the environment, because of the farmer himself, his capabilities with his green thumb. So goes the same with hops. So because hops are one of the four main ingredients, you've got water, malt, yeast, and hops. It being one of the four dynamic pieces of an ingredient, you have to alter your recipe every single year than a new hop varietal that you utilize, or the same hop varietal but a different vintage. So you may in one batch of beer have a 2019 hop, and then you are getting your 2020 hops in at the same time, and you now have to alter your recipe to mitigate the damages, or not damages, but the differentiation between the two.
Okay, that's interesting. I had no idea about that.
Lots of science.
That's awesome. Well, I have. How long have I known you now?
About 5 years.
Has it been 5?
Yeah.
Has it been maybe 5? Well, I first met you way back in the day.
That was Cool Springs Brewery days. That was.
I didn't know you as well back then.
Yeah.
That's
crazy guy behind the glass.
Yes. Beaker's lab back there.
Yeah, I kind of sometimes felt a little bit like a chimpanzee that people would knock on the glass and make funny faces at me, and I'd be like,
It's probably me at one point.
Yeah, this isn't the zoo.
After a few beers.
Yeah, this isn't the zoo where you guys get to like make funny faces at the brewmaster, but like every now and again, I'll be like, what are they doing? You guys will all be hanging out in the bar and
Good times, man.
drinking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like,
That happens.
oh, I'm just taking clients out. Like, all right.
Good times. Well, even better times now. The barn. So you were just telling me about the barn.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty impressive what you did. The very front end of your property, when you pull in,
Yeah.
there's a barn, and you guys painted that. The
Yeah.
logo, Hot Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to put the world's first beer park on there?
I don't
Because
know.
I don't know if there's a beer park anywhere else, and I think that's the best idea ever.
I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a couple of really rather large breweries that have got a substantial amount of land. But, I mean, we decided that we wanted to turn this into Disneyland.
I'd say
Build
this
the brewery first, you know, and then add some other stuff. And we're going to add a couple of, barring all the current climate of what's going on with the pandemic, where the barn said barn that you talk about, that's where all of our sour beer is. So we would like to, at some point, build out that space as just for barrels, and you could go in there and drink all of our high-end sour beer and sit down in a really intimate climate with all these sour barrels around you and be in the traditional farmhouse brewery.
So that would be a place you could go and
Yeah.
have a beer.
Yep. And then we have other plans. Like we're gonna
That's
build
cool.
a 2-acre pond just beyond us over here, and we want to. I know this sounds ludicrous, so bear with me. We want to have like a Ron John surf shop, like brew pub type style, like open tiki torch type
I'm
thing,
there.
and then we're gonna get a zip line that goes across the lake, and you could wakeboard over the top of the 2-acre lake.
There you go.
Right.
Wakeboard.
Yeah.
From the zip line.
Right. The zip line has got a V8 connected to it, and all we do is rev the hell out of the V8, and you hold on for dear life, and it's going to take you moonshot right off the back dock, off a jump, and then you finish on the other end.
That sounds better than Disneyland.
Right. Right.
So I could technically bring my mountain bike here.
Right.
I could go around the loop,
Mm-hmm.
your trail, cool off in the lake, mini lake.
Right.
I guess you wouldn't call that the campus.
Right.
Have a beer with the tiki torches. Come over here and grab a pizza and another beer, and then play
18 holes.
because you got the other 9 in.
Yep.
And
18 holes of disc golf,
and then literally spend my entire day out here.
and
I
then
could bring
watch a concert at night.
at night. I could bring my family out here and stay out here all day with my family.
Right.
Where am I putting my tent?
Right here.
And
Right here.
I'll so do it. Too.
Yeah. This is
That would be
actually.
awesome. You should totally make like a camping spot.
This is right here where we celebrated my 40th birthday, and
Did you put tents up?
yeah, I
Camped
just
out?
hung out right here. It was a wonderful little space, and it gave us a great opportunity to chill as a family, and yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I need to do that. I almost brought my mountain bike up here today, but wasn't sure. I knew I could have at least done with the disc golf course was if no one was on it, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
totally need to do that. Man, I just got into it, and now I'm chomping at the bit to get on my bike in the second I got.
Yeah.
So then now I know you have a mountain bike.
Yeah.
We can.
you getting a little saddle sore yet?
Oh, it's been terrible. Not
It's
gonna
been
lie.
terrible. Yeah.
How
you,
long does
you
that
get down
last?
in the you sit down in the car. You're like, oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
been terrible.
yeah, yeah.
I texted a friend. I was like, "How long does this last?" He said a couple weeks, a few weeks.
About 2-3 weeks.
I want to go get a
Um,
Schwinn seat off the cruiser and stick it on.
No,
my
no, no.
mountain bike.
No, you don't want that. You don't want that, because really what it is, it's your sit bones. Your sit bones is what carries all of your weight, and what's happening is that the flesh around your outside sit bones is what is really, really tender right now.
Okay.
And you want to get it to a point where you are, when you're riding, you want a very small seat. because the more cushion you have, the more that it's going to continue to damage the flesh around the sit bones.
Okay.
So
I have
you
no idea.
want a really hard, super small saddle.
I have that.
It sounds very counterintuitive, but my the saddles that I have on my bikes, they're definitely, they look very uncomfortable. You would go there. Why do you sit on that? It looks like you're just sitting on the seat post.
That's what I thought when I got my bike.
Right. And you're like,
Is that what I'm supposed to sit on? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is going to eventually get better.
The beers help with that, right?
Yes, it is a rule that when you mountain bike, you have to have wings and pizza afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that.
Do you
It
have
comes in
wings
the
here
manual.
yet?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we have a smoker that will do 30 pork butts in
Okay.
one shebang. It's crazy. This thing
is
has
so
got
exciting.
like this like huge like rotisserie smoker, and it's all automated, and
Perfect.
you just like it's all on pellets, so that you just like line all of these things up, and you just turn it on, and 3 hours later you got smoked wings.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How many beers do you have on tap now? Well, I actually, it's probably a bad question because you probably don't have as many on tap as you did before
Yep.
this virus.
Right.
So, what's kind of your normal rotation? Or how many beers do you usually have going?
18.
Okay.
Usually 18. We keep up with it by doing a lot of really interesting and weird beers. We've got a total of, throughout the whole year, we do 25 different beers that are in our staple, and then I usually try and do about 5 to 10 new styles that we've never tried before. Keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting. But back in the day when we first met, I mean, I was doing a new beer every 6 weeks. So there was one time when we first started Mantra, we did 75 beers our first year. It was ludicrous. I mean, I turned around and all of a sudden we had made our 75th different style beer. And I went, uh-oh, I think I may be confusing people a little bit. But I mean, it was like a child in Keys in the Castle. Like all of a sudden, I'd been working for other breweries for 7 years before we opened up Montreux. So I kind of had to play by other people's rules. I had to, I couldn't design a beer this way because our customer base didn't like it, or when I was working in Boulder for Twisted Pine Brewing Company, and this guy was the dude that I learned how to brew beer from, was one of the most decorated brewers in the entire state, winning all kinds of Great American Beer Fest and World Beer Cups, and I mean he's the bee's knees. So what was I going to do? Tell him what his recipes needed to look like? So I just had to do his recipes, which was a great foundation and fundamental basis to learn my craft. But when I was the owner and when I was given the opportunity to be an idiot, I took full advantage and just went off the deep end designing recipes. Like, sure, yeah, let's do that. What are we going to throw in it? We're going to put pineapples and red chili peppers, and we're going to make it a Belgian wit. Ah, how much fruit do you want to throw in it? 7 pounds per gallon? Yeah, let's do it.
Chili peppers. So your Reaper Pepper beer.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there the night? So, gosh, it was. They started re-releasing Star Wars, not re-releasing, making the new ones, and that first one came out like 3 or 4 years ago. And you were back at your old location in Franklin. Yep. Were you there that night when y'all were raffling off the tickets?
May the 4th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was there. I couldn't remember if you were there or not. I was there with my stepdad, and we won the tickets. And we both had 2 Reaper Pepper beers, and then a stout with Reaper Pepper in it. That next day was the worst day of my life.
Bad day. Bad day.
So,
yeah.
But it was so good.
Yeah.
And I remember it was amazing. It was like a shot of absinthe or something. It burned in your tummy. Like you could feel it just kind of ignite.
Yeah.
And it was warm and it tasted good though. That was the crazy part. So you kept drinking it. it's like hot wings that are really good but too hot. But I remember you telling me, did I get this right? That beer was that a chopped basket ingredient in a chopped basket on a chopped kitchen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. They use that ingredient, unfortunately, for some poor folks on Chopped that got that, and they were like, "Wait, what? What is this? Oh, it's a beer." And then they tasted it, and it was no bueno. I feel bad for those people. And the funny thing is right at the end of this pandemic, or at the beginning in March, we had 60 or 70 cases of that same beer available. And we had plans on sending it out to our distributors. So our distributors had pre-ordered. Well, our distributors ordered nothing when the pandemic hit. So we started releasing this beer through a drive-through service that we were doing, and we were releasing all of our beer in case specials only. So you couldn't just buy a 4-pack of it; you had to buy an entire case of it. People were kind of driving through, and they were like, "Well, what else can we get?" We're like, "Well, there's Rip," and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get a case of that." We're like, "It's a bad idea," and they're like, "What do you mean?" It's really really spicy. The very next weekend, so we started that March 18th, which would have been 2 days after like the whole country was getting shut down. So we were doing drive-through only and selling it at wholesale pricing that we would typically sell to a distributor. So we quickly turned into like the Costco of beer. You could come here and you could like get 5 or 6 cases of beer, and I think like you'd walk away, it would be $100 for like 5 cases of beer. But people the next weekend after buying a case of Rip would come back and buy 2 or 3 cases, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. We were like, "What is wrong with these people?"
The opposite.
We thought we were going to be squatting on this Rip beer for the whole summer, and in one weekend we got rid of all of it, and it was people coming back because they wanted to punk their friends.
Perfect.
And they were buying cases of it. I was like, "You guys are mean. Why would you do that? Why would you mess with your friends that way?" I don't know.
It's awesome.
So apparently we're going to be on like some videos of friends being like, "Dude, try this beer."
It's perfect.
Right.
And it works.
I guess.
I love it. So some people may or may not know who Monique Chauhan is.
Yeah.
And clearly she's a celebrity chef.
Yeah.
Famous on the Food Network channel.
Yep.
That's where I discovered her. Really cool lady. My wife and I actually got to meet her at the Great Slider Showdown, which was at the factory.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I think, about 2 years ago. Her and Alton Brown were there, actually, and they were 2 of the judges. Well, there's 4 judges, I think, and there were 2 of them. And it was really fun, and I've been to all 3 of her restaurants. She probably has more than 3 restaurants, for all I know. But I know I've been to the 3 that are close to each other, right there, close to the Gulch. And the last time I was in... So you had Chauhan El Masala House, and then...
Mockingbird?
Mockingbird, yes. And I think... I could swear, when I was there, it was like 12 at night with a friend from Dallas. And he flew in, and we went there, and I think the only beer they had was your beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cumulus Project, Mantra, Steel Barrel.
Yep.
Which are all 3 of your beers. You probably have more. But, so tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We met about 6 years ago. She was just about ready to open up Chauhan Ale and Masala House.
I'm pronouncing that wrong every
time. Yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
It's fine. We've done a lot of like messaging, and so like I've gotten the enunciation down. But she was just starting her new restaurant, and apparently she had talked to a couple of people, and they said, these recipes that you need for your restaurant. She had been homebrewing in New York with her husband, who's now also one of my business partners, Vivek. And in these recipes, they were adding all these crazy ingredients to them. And she kept on going to other breweries and going, "Can you make these for us?" And all the brewers were like, "No, we can't do that." that's too weird. Like these recipes are they're a little out there. And then I guess my name kept on coming up that, oh, well, if you really want someone that like can really do,
Derek will do it.
Derek will do it. And then like I guess my reputation for just being a little bit of a nut job with ingredients and taking huge risks with flavors led her to my front door. Fast forward 6 months after we met, and we had already decided that we were going to start a business. We were moving forward towards that. My business partner Chad and I had found the space. We were kind of moving into that direction. We'd already picked out the name Mantra, which was just so serendipitous that we ended up partnering up with someone who kind of Mantra led her into her own space. And so a lot of people thought, Mantra was this. No, Mantra was the thing that we had already began with. And I happened to be standing at the backside of their property at Chohan El Masala House, and Vivek, her husband, cornered me and said, how happy are you at the brewery that you're at? And I thought the cat got let out of the bag because I was doing everything, like getting the lease signed and signing for the equipment and buying all the equipment and like doing all this stuff, knowing full well that I was not fully funded. I was only halfway funded through my business venture.
And this is that location in Franklin where you
This
started?
is the location where Mantra was originally at. So yeah. I only had about half of the amount of money that I needed, but I was already signing for all this equipment going, I'll find the investors. This is incredibly stupid. So anyone that's listening to this, please don't do business that way. But Vivek was like, oh, are you happy? And I was like, oh, well, I have to be honest with you. I'm leaving and I'm starting my own business. And he goes, that's crazy because we were going to ask you if you wanted to start a brewery with us.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like the very next day, Vivek said, hey, how about you bring the business, like your performa, business plan, everything, down here tomorrow, and I'll show my business partners, and we'll see if there's some synergy there. I was like, all right. So I showed up, and it was like Shark Tank. Here's, this hotel mogul, celebrity chef, her husband, restaurateur and businessman of the year in East Asia, and then their corporate attorney and one of their other partners, who now is one of my partners in this venture. And I walked in and I went, whoa, I hope this is all right. So I turned over this business plan and we talked for a while, and they kept on hammering me with all these questions. And I was like, I don't know. Well, you should know that. You're going to start this business. You should know this. And I was like, I guess I'll work on that. I don't know. So the very next day, we were going to go to Gray's on Main to meet Vivek. And Vivek was like, oh, we got some stuff that we need to work on. Few things in your business model that we'd like to tweak. But by tomorrow, you'll be fully funded. I went, what? I was like, okay. Are you sure? He goes, oh yeah, tomorrow we'll get everything sent over to you.
Great,
we'll get a new operating agreement, and we were off to the races. And we're just buying everything that we could and slapping it all into Mantra. And
What were their? I should ask the beers that. Which beers do you have? Any of the beers here?
Mm-hmm.
Which ones were the ones that they kind of pieced together?
the Saffron IPA.
That one. Okay.
Yeah. So the Saffron
really
IPA, they came to me with this recipe for a saffron cardamom IPA, and I looked at Manit and I said, I know that you're the celebrity chef, but this is not going to work. And she was like, why? And I was like, I wouldn't tell you how to make chicken tikka masala. I'm the brewmaster. The way that this is going to work is that if you allow me to take the intentionality for the way that you're going to, what you want to make, and let me run with it. Let me take the recipe. Let me take it and go through the process. So I asked her what she would recommend for me to eat, to get a general concept of where she came up with saffron cardamom, and she said there's a saffron cardamom shortbread cookie, and so I sat down and I made this saffron cardamom shortbread cookie that she was talking about, and was sitting there. I made them early in the morning, and I was drinking orange juice and then eating these cookies, and I was like, it's got to be an IPA. It's got to be a really juicy, citrusy IPA. And then we incorporated those flavors. And so, yeah, there's like our milk chai stout's another one where she was like, I really want to put chai in a beer. I was like, that sounds ridiculous. Well, okay, let's figure that out.
I've got 2 cases of that in my garage. Well, I don't have much left of those 2 cases. But,
So, yeah, like, I mean, that's where working with a celebrity chef, and she's not just a celebrity chef. I mean, she's a James Beard award-winning chef. So she's got some chops.
yeah.
Pun intended. And so, we bounce ideas back and forth, and we did a video together most recently where we're just talking about some of the genesis of our company, where it came from, how it came about. And
is that video online?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to put a link.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a link to that video when this gets posted.
Yeah, and what's cool about that is that in this video, one of her chef friends from Puerto Rico hopped on, and her chef friend said, you two should come out to Puerto Rico. And all of a sudden it went, hey, you guys have rum barrels down in Puerto Rico. I was like, could you get us some rum barrels? And he was like, yeah. Well, this is all in live stream on her Instagram, and we're both on different Instagram feeds on the same Instagram feed, and now all of a sudden we're collaborating. This is how we do things. Like, all of a sudden we're like, all right, well, we're gonna get rum barrels from Puerto Rico, and we're gonna fly down there and pick them up and do like a food thing with her chef friend in Puerto Rico, and then we'll go pick up the rum barrels, come up here, make it, go fly back down there in like a year and drop it off. And so all these crazy things that we get ourselves stuck into is all stemmed from us just sitting around, and the rest of the partners are just like, why do we ever let them stand in the same room? They just come up with ludicrous ideas, like putting the most expensive spice in the world in a beer,
which is the saffron.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, we put it all in the safe, so our money smells like saffron.
It's green. Is saffron green?
No, it's red.
Okay, I had
bright red.
No way.
Yeah, and to give you an idea, if you go to like Whole Foods or Kroger, go find saffron. It's usually in the spice section, and they'll give you 3 strands. It's usually 2 or 3
I had no idea.
micrograms of saffron, and they're just the stamen.
Okay.
And it's about $20 for about 3 or 4 stamens. And you could make an entire dish off of 1 strand. It's really potent. The flavor component's really potent.
It's really good in your beer. It's my mom. My mom doesn't even like IPAs, but she loves your saffron IPA.
And when we get it shipped in, we get it shipped in by the kilo, which is always funny.
So you do that late at night when no one knows you're getting the shipment.
Right. Well, so
semi comes in.
We have it insured. So when we have the shipment coming in, we will insure the shipment for up to $10,000, and it's always universally like opened because they think that we're shipping kilos of other stuff.
I was about to say. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, like we'll get a shipment.
So much I want to say right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. So like we could get it. We sometimes get it bulk. Sometimes we will get Spanish saffron, more like in 1 ounce tins. And it's kind of funny because the brewers have to stand up on the brew deck with 16 1 ounce tins and open them up. But they're so intricately
It's like you drop
put
that,
together.
I'm pushing you into tank.
Right.
You drop that, you're
Right.
going into.
Well, I mean, you look online, and usually saffron goes for about $200, $300 an ounce. And yeah, so when we're putting 16 ounces of the stuff in per batch, and sometimes we'll do 2 or 3 batches in one run, you're
There's only a few things that cost that much per ounce. in
right,
this world.
right, right,
Oh my gosh.
right.
It's
So
amazing.
it's always kind of a running joke of like, what's the most expensive thing that we put in our beer, and people are like, oh, it's got to be the hops, right? I'm like, no,
That's
it's
amazing.
it's worth more than human lives. Like, I'd rather the brewer accidentally drop in than accidentally
An
drop a
ounce of
tin of saffron.
It's fun. Well, so when we were chatting earlier, you were talking about, okay, so you're having a big 4th of July bash.
Yep.
Called is it the
Freedom Fest.
Freedom Fest.
Yep.
And you're expecting 2,000 people?
So we're gonna limit it up to 2,000.
Oh, so I need to
So-
get on board. I need to show up early.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna sell tickets, so it's only $10 a ticket. And we're not going for broke. We really want people to be able to experience a festival with social distancing. All the parking's here on the property, so it's not like you have to get an Uber to come in. We have free fireworks, so for $10 you can come in, hear music. We're gonna have 6 bands throughout the day.
That's awesome.
We've got a big outdoor stage, so you're never
Which is what
in.
you're building back here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and so
Right behind me.
you're never actually in a position where if you're still by July 4th, like, I want my 10 feet around me, you're outdoors in the sun, being able to do all
Perfect.
those things. We'll continue to maintain our staff wearing masks, doing all the stuff that we're supposed to do to keep people healthy and happy. But why can't we socially distance and still celebrate our freedom at the same time? Moreover, all the proceeds for the tickets are going to frontline workers. So
That's awesome.
nurses, doctors, buying masks, continuing to get them the gear that they need. So first responders and frontline workers, it's 100% a benefit concert. So yeah, we're going to be
Cool. I didn't know that.
taking all of the money and turning it right back over to Rutherford County first responders and giving it over to Mayor Ketron.
That's awesome. And if you actually, there's rumor, as you said, you might skydive. If you do skydive,
Right.
I think there needs to be maybe like a pool where people bet on where you land, and if you actually do land
Right.
without breaking a bone,
Right. Right. So
you could land in a huge barrel of beer.
I'm all for all those things. We're still talking, and I hope that this jumping crew decides to do this. But we're hoping that at 7:00, right before our main act goes on, that we jump out at 7:00, and right before the main act goes on, we're landing, and then the main act goes on, and then it's like, main act comes off, we play like a playlist, and then it's like fireworks at 9:00,
That'd be perfect.
and curated playlist with fireworks going off, and I mean,
The parachute needs to be red, white, and blue.
I was thinking we could do that, or the colored smoke, and my.
Even better.
When I told this to my business partners on our business partner text chat, they were like, okay, do we have our Keyman insurance up to date? And does Keyman insurance cover, jumping out of an airplane? And my partners were like, what are we going to do? The brewmaster's jumping out of an airplane. I was like, by the way, I've done this 2 times in the last year.
There
So
you go.
sorry, forgot to tell you.
That's awesome. That's fun. Well, this has been really fun. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, and hopefully everyone's learned a little bit about your history, what you're doing now, this amazing beer park you're building,
Yeah.
which I'm looking forward to spend a lot more time at.
Yeah.
And that most people will learn a little bit about the color of that story and how beautiful it is and everything you're doing with the meat. And it's just an amazing, it feels like this big palette and you're just this artist and you're making all kinds of different things. You got so much stuff going on. I don't know how you sleep at night.
I don't. And I appreciate that you calling me an artist, but it's really just a kid with a whole bunch of toys. And I mean, I don't really, I wake up every morning and I go, well, I got a lot of responsibility, but like, whatever. We're going to build this. We're going to have fun.
So
And look at these guys. They're walking in, playing disc golf. And this is exactly what
that's it.
We want to do.
It's all about, man.
It's just like we're designing experiences, and if we could have extraordinary experiences for guys like that who, I think one of them is still wearing like old school Razor sunglasses.
That's
like the cool wraparound.
Yes.
And giving that guy an experience to be able to come out here, that's what this is all about. And if we could be big dumb idiots doing exactly that. I mean, I appreciate you calling me an artist with a palette, but it's definitely, we built a dog park and a disc golf course and a mountain bike trail and a hiking trail and a brewery. It's about as basic, dude.
An adult sandbox.
It's an adult sandbox. Very good.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
That's what it is.
It's an adult
And you're
sandbox.
building your castles in
Yeah, and it's just sitting there. Oh, hey, what else are we gonna do? That looks like fun. Oops.
Then we're going to build something else.
Right.
That's how dreams are made. I love it. That's cool.
That's how we do it.
Well, I think I need another beer.
Let's do that.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, man. That's awesome.